Hey there, I'm Michael Demond, and I'm introducing the world to starbeam.one. This session is a business model. Let's begin. Quick overview of the topics I'll be discussing in this session. Starting here with the origin of the research that I was doing when I first started out, I just happened to find this essay by Kevin Kelly about 1,000 true fans. And I had the essay linked there with the QR code. Please check it out. I recommend it. It's a pretty good essay, and it's what I based starbeam.one off of. And essentially, it just says find 1,000 true fans that will support you every year, and they will pay a certain amount. And just sort of basing it from that, just that mentality is something that I found incredibly inspiring, and that's what I'm basing starbeam.one off of. So with that framework in place, I started to think a little bit more, and I kept landing on this notion of street performers, right? They demonstrate talent, and you give them a few dollars. And you sort of see that with services such as Patreon and later Ko-Fi, where people are just providing these few dollars to artists, and they gladly just give them away, sort of thing. And they get something in return, but as we'll see, is not something that is resellable. And so that's kind of what I started ruminating on and wanted to take that a little bit further. And so, kind of moving on from that, there's another thing that happened when starting a company is incorporating, right? And so I went through Gust, and that's the QR code there. They are amazing. I highly recommend them if you are a founder or thinking of starting a company. They do a lot of work for you, and part of that process is issuing stock. And that really caught my attention because when you do this stock granting to myself, it's all made up. The quantity and the price is just entering in a number and away you go, sort of thing. And so you think about that as a stock market, completely intangible. It's a digital product at the end of the day, and it's also in a centralized database, right? At the end of the day as well. And there's several markets that operate like this. Trillions of dollars go through these markets every year. And so it just sort of caught my attention, right? And getting back to the physical thing, they don't even offer certificates anymore. It's part of the, if you read the purchase agreement, there's no certificates anymore. So it's completely intangible, can't see it. Trillions of dollars, and it's an interesting business model, isn't it? So, what I landed on was somewhere in between. You have your corporations, and then you've got your street performers. And, the thought struck me as why don't we make creators more like corporations? It's very compelling. So that's pretty much what it is. It allows a creator to issue these intangible things, their digital licenses, and sell them to their fans. And just like a stock market, except stock market stocks, by the way, are securities. And this is a digital product. This is a digital license, which have been around for as long as I can remember. And we're taking that along for the ride, which means that we can use that to ascribe rights and powers and how people can use that. And then adding on this final notion here of finding your true fan base, right? I think I mentioned already the higher quantity, lower prices. So that higher quantity kind of implies this 1,000 true fans, and I'm taking that one step further with a 1,111. We'll find out in the publishing system what that means. As a creator, you get 100% of every sale for your product. So you list a product at $2 per unit, you get $2 per unit. starbeam.one makes money with an optional network gratuity for every sale, and it's modeled after GoFundMe, which is where I got the idea. They start at 12.5. I have started at 10, but you can drop that down to 0 just as long as you provide a comment, because we're looking for that 10%. For resales, we start at a 10% mandatory royalty, and that can go up to 90%, and creators get 100% of that. Again, we're there with an optional network gratuity that's based on the royalties. And finally, there's this notion of a beneficiary. If you are a creator and you want to provide a special thanks or a mention to someone in a unique way, well, you can assign them as a beneficiary, which means that they get a percentage of every sale and resale, meaning royalties of your product. Okay, hopefully that explains the business model. Let's move on to the publishing system. See you there.